right. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Yotpo's webinar on how an enterprise brand built a case for loyalty, featuring Revolution Beauty and Astound Commerce. My name is Katie McKeever, and I'm the product marketing manager here at Yotpo. And joining me today is Sally Minto, the digital director at Revolution Beauty, and Geeta Samani, the consulting director from Astound Commerce UK. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, why don't we go ahead and start out with Sally, if you can share a little bit about Revolution Beauty as a brand and how you guys got started thinking about loyalty.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I guess to sum it up, our mission is to be the best beauty company in the world. So that might be quite an ambitious target, but we've only been around for 7 years and we've already disrupted the industry in a number of ways. We can summarize ourselves as multi-brand, multi-category and multi-channel in the way that we sell. So we started off as a cosmetics brand, but very quickly expanded into other categories with more to come. And, you know, we sell very globally. We're sold in some of the biggest retailers in the world across 5 continents. So you can see there that obviously we've got, from a bricks and mortar perspective, great partnerships in the UK and the US through Superdrug, Boots, Ulta and Target. Target actually just joined us beginning of this year and already doing some amazing business. But actually one of the fastest growing parts of our business is the digital side. So we've been with Beauty Bay, one of our biggest partners, for some time. Last year we also launched with Zalando across Europe, and then Asos has been a really interesting new partnership for us because they are first and foremost a fashion retailer. So where perhaps in, you know, where we started off was largely selling through specialist pharmacies or drugstores. Now we've got some really compelling growing business through fashion retailers, which we're hoping to extend. So it seems an easy add-on to your fashion purchase, particularly as we've seen over the last year in the pandemic as well. Just to summarize our customer, I suppose, for a second, largely women, but actually our male community is growing massively. So actually grown much more than our female community in the last year on our website, which is fantastic because that shows that there's more opportunity for us to as we go into other categories. And around 80% of our customers are under 44. And so 65% of them are 18 to 34. So that's really our kind of core customer base. I guess what we would say about ourselves is that we are fast innovators in mass beauty. So we launch products every week. So we're really fast, we're really agile, and we get onto the trends. So whether that's things that our customers ask for or whether things that we've seen coming down the track, we deliver it really quickly. We're also digitally focused, and our marketing has always largely been through social media influences and continues to be so. But we're really excited to try new channels. So we've just launched a really big partnership with TikTok, running a kind of digital beauty pageant to find the next talent, makeup artist talent for TikTok, and called Creator Revolution. So it's already having some massive impact. So yeah, so that's a bit about our marketing side. And I guess, you know, the one thing about us is that we have some really strong brand values. We talk a lot about cruelty free. All of our products are cruelty free, but we're also fully inclusive and multi-generational. So really, I guess in a nutshell, we believe that beauty is for everyone, and we help our customers celebrate beauty in whatever form it comes from for them. So that's about it.
I love that. I love beauty is for everyone. Geeta, can you share a little bit about Astound Commerce?
Sure. Astound Commerce is a global digital agency. We're based out of New York, San Francisco, and London, as well as many other countries across Europe and the Middle East. And we basically have been in digital for about 20 plus years. And as a global agency, we have been working with some really well-known brands from in the UK, like Halfords and Boohoo, to globally to L'Oreal and a few others around the world. And basically, we've been a growing agency for the past 20 years, focused on technology, and then most recently on agency services as well. So I'm the consulting director there at Astound and have been with Astound for a couple of years, building out the agency and consulting offering for the UK office. So as a company, we work with many verticals, and beauty is one that we are very dear to, which I guess is one of the reasons why we're a strong partner with Revolution Beauty.
Yeah, could you give a bit of background, either of you, just on the exact relationship and how Astound and Revolution Beauty have been working together recently?
Yeah, so in 2018, we started a project to re-platform our website. So we obviously have been selling for a number of years through in wholesale partnerships, but our direct-to-consumer business was growing really fast over a number of years, and we realised that we wanted to provide the right foundation for growth in the future. We knew that we would continue to grow, and we needed to develop a world-class website experience for our customers, and Astound helped to build it. So they were our partner, so they provided all of the support in terms of consultancy and design and build. It was a great partnership. Really proud of what we've achieved, and we've continued that relationship on the development side ever since. I do have a very petite tech team. I mean, very tiny, only a couple of people within my team, but actually the relationship with Astound means that I can get stuff done really quickly and agile, on a day-to-day basis in supporting, developing that platform as we grow. So yeah, it's been a great partnership, hasn't it, Geeta? And I think the other thing as well is they've helped us to do is to consult with us on where we've wanted to do some development, so some optimizations on the side. They've really helped to provide some consultancy for us on, and giving us the real sort of expertise on where we might see the best benefits of certain kind of products or optimizations. So it's been a great relationship.
Amazing.
I think just to add to that, talking about the direct to consumer part here of building out the channel, understanding that Revolution Beauty had a website, but they didn't necessarily control much of it, and so building on their own platform and being able to gain that customer insight and understand that customer data has been absolutely key to that growth, and own that customer data to be able to make that work for them. Especially the acquisition of so many new customers during the pandemic, being able to in an agile way react and own that experience, and that's what the platform has given them the capability to do, and be able to really operate it in their own way, which is really important for direct consumer brands, I'd like to say.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So I think that leads us well into the question of what prompted Revolution Beauty to decide to launch a loyalty program. What all went into the business decision, and what made you all decide that this was the right time to launch loyalty?
Yeah, so one of the key ways that we run our business is listening to our customers. We've done it from day one. We have a mantra, you asked, we listened, which is, has been a lot to do with products that we develop, categories that we go into. But once we launched the website, or we were planning to launch the website, we asked our customers what they would like to see. And loyalty came up as quite a common thread around, what they might want to see from us in the future. And as I've already touched on, when you're expanding so much as we were globally through various sort of retail touch points, it becomes quite pertinent for you to think about what your direct to consumer experience needs to be, because, those customers have a relationship with that particular brand. So it's your brand within their brand kind of thing. And so therefore you have to really think about, well, what value are you going to offer to customers who are shopping with you directly? What does that experience need to be? How does it need to be different? How does it need to be similar? And then we saw some data around, like Geeta touched on before, is that we were able to actually fully analyze our customer data, and we could see that we had a very high proportion of people that were only shopping with us once. So they were coming to the website, don't know where they went afterwards, obviously impossible to track. And we thought that actually that's one of those metrics that you really want to try and shift. So we thought that a loyalty program could be something that could do that. We then asked our customers about what they would like to see from a loyalty program. And so, it helped us to flesh out some thoughts around that. But primarily, it was so that we could shift some of that behavior and hopefully create a value set, which meant that those customers would come back and shop with us more frequently after that first purchase, when they've maybe discovered us for the first time.
Great. Yeah, so it sounds like the buy-in on deciding to launch loyalty was pretty clear across the business and the organization, the drive to increase repeat purchase rate. But tell us a bit more about the actual plan in developing loyalty. What are some of the things beyond the data points with repeat purchase rate that you started to analyze and consider?
Yeah, so I suppose when you sort of think about, what does a loyalty program mean? And you can't just, think that up and hope that that's going to land. You can't imagine what people think that, loyalty means to them. So we went out on social media and asked people what they would like to see from such a program. That helped us. We also brainstormed internally ourselves around the things that we've seen from other people. We looked at some of the loyalty schemes from our wholesale partners, from other of our other retailers that we've seen, and we did kind of a bit of a, what is everyone else doing? What do we think we want to do? And I think you primarily start with, what is the behavior that you want to reward? Because that's the main thing about it, is that you want to say thank you to customers. And you also might want to change some stuff, and then you might want to actually drive some behavior. So we were trying to work out those particular elements. And, once we started from that and asked our customers, then, the next thing that you do is try to find a solution to that. And then you have to look at whether or not the solution can work for you financially, because historically, loyalty schemes used to be really expensive things. So we had met with the guys from Yotpo, well, who had acquired Swell, and they've, we'd already integrated Yotpo into the site for reviews, and we started to look at some solutions. But I think what I was most interested in with looking at the Swell/Yotpo solution was the fact that it offered the opportunity to reward and drive behavior in a different way, because it's very easy to always think of loyalty schemes as being just a point system, or if someone spends money, we'll give them some cash back. I mean, that's really straightforward, and that's what you typically see. It's either, you know, you buy 5 cups of coffee, you get 1 free. Those are very simple executions. But what I really liked about, you know, seeing, you know, the solution that we ended up going for was that we could look at different sets of behavior from our customer, and we could reward them for those and try to drive certain behaviors as well through the sign up of this scheme. So it kind of started with us thinking, what do we wanted to do, seeing what was out there, seeing the kind of elements of this one. And then, of course, we had to sit down with our finance team and work out some financial modelling as to could we do this, should we do this, and what will it mean? You know, and you have to scenario build. So you have to say, okay, you know, what are we likely to see, you know, when it comes to certain pieces, you know, order frequency, what do we think it might go to, you know, lifetime spend of a customer, what do we think it will go to? And then we spent quite a lot of time doing the financial modelling. There's also a kind of weird idiosyncrasy as well with loyalty schemes, in the fact that you have to accrue for points, something that I didn't know about. It's a weird accountancy thing that I didn't know about. So you have to kind of work some of these pieces into the plan. And then once you know, are happy with what you've kind of come up with, and then obviously then it was full steam ahead. So
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken a lot lately about loyalty being the value exchange, that there are obviously behaviors that are going to be beneficial to the brand that they need to recognize and say, okay, this is what is going to make loyalty worth it. And then on the other hand, figure out exactly what will be incentive and motivation enough for customers to start changing their behavior in that way. And I absolutely love your program.
Well, exactly. And, you know, we could sort of model it out based on saying, okay, our database size is this. We can guess we might have an uptake and a redemption rate of this and that. But we also had to kind of puzzle out what customers might, you know, what might drive them to go for to sign up, to actually engage with the program. So what I really liked about the solution was that, you know, we could reward for spend, but we could reward for, you know, following us on social media, for creating an account, for email sign up, for refer a friend. So we could do all of those things, but then you have to sit down and say, well, what are they worth in points? You know, what would be a trigger for a customer to go, actually, yes, I can see that that's beneficial enough, I'm going to do it, you know, that sort of thing. So you can also leave a review, leave a video review. So we had quite a bit of fun actually sitting internally trying to work out what combination of points that people might accrue once they participated, and, you know, trying to then build out, you know, the tier system within the program. So you've got bronze, silver and gold there. So first of all, it's what do you name it? How do you make it globally relevant? How do you, you know, because, you know, we went with the Olympic thing that everyone knows what gold, silver,
funny
and
how
bronze
that's how you landed on it.
you know, but we did have quite you know, quite some conversations around that, because actually, you know, we trade in, you know, we send parcels to 123 countries. You know, we needed to make sure that well, actually no, it's 230 countries I think it is now, but we had to actually make sure that it was that the scheme, the name was going to be right, that it would resonate, that all of the elements would be right. And then we built the tiers, the tiered benefits as well. So we looked at, well, okay, you know, what's going to be attractive to trigger, you know, behavior for people to want to get to the next tier, and also making it reasonably simplistic to understand as well, because otherwise, you know, you don't want something vastly complicated that people don't want to engage with because it just looks too complicated. So so there was quite a lot to consider in the sort of ideation of it. And I think, you know, the point about any of these things is you've got to build them flexibly so that you can change them as you know, because we knew that we would learn some lessons and that we could, you know, we would need to optimize as we went on. But essentially it felt a very customer centric loyalty program, and I think that's probably, if you stay on being customer centric, you can't be too wrong, can you? So
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have the whole structure
so
here
you
on
can
this
see
page.
here, so you can see here the breakdown. So it's, you know, we built a page on the site, very clear how to earn points there. We've subsequently done some optimizations because we found that sign up for email, we had 40 points here. But we've actually doubled that and doubled the conversion of people signing up for email. So, I mean, you know, it's really important to keep going over and reviewing things. The other thing I should mention as well with this loyalty program as well, it has a refer a friend program integrated within this, which means that obviously we didn't have to then get a third party integrated into our site to do that. So that was really beneficial. Yeah, and you know, obviously the social side, as a social brand, it was really important for us to weave the social piece in there as well. So that's how you can earn points. And I think on the next slide there might be some.
Before we move on to the next slide, sorry, I did lose a bit of connection there, so I do apologise. I did want to just add on to Sally's point around that ideation piece is, you know, it's so important, not just as a partner from a systems integrator standpoint, but as a but working with a client to, you know, for a client to really understand the nuts and bolts of what they actually wanted to achieve and what they were aiming for from a goals and ambitions point of view, because the technology is just one cog in the whole proposition, and it's just an enabler. If you haven't outlined that proposition of what you want, how you're going to market it, who you're going to market it to, what you're going to call it, all those really important things, you know, you can implement a technology and not get the benefits. And so to have that, to see that a client, as Revolution Beauty had done in this instance of, you know, they hadn't just gone straight for a tech partner who'd be able to enable this. They thought about what they wanted and how they were going to go about it, and that is so important in when you're outlining what you want to achieve with your loyalty program. Because I know we've laboured the point quite a bit around the financial modelling, but those optimization of customer journeys and understanding what that could mean to your P&L with these points accruing on your you know, in your books is actually really important. And it's not just about, you know, points; it's about the experience. So I
Absolutely,
think
and that's the point about, isn't it, about any sort of technology. You don't just need to, you know, put a product into your site. You have to actually start with what is the problem, or what is it that you're trying to solve or, you know, create for your customers, and then design it around that concept rather than, and let the tech work for you, as opposed to the other way around. Oh, well, this is great. You know, it's like you've got to start with where is your starting standpoint on this. But yeah,
absolutely.
So, yeah, and you've got to take the time to do it as well. I mean, again, you know, we're a very agile business, but we did take our time to do this right. You know, to spend the time on designing that customer journey piece. How would it surface to customers? How would they see that communication around their journey? What was the right time for us to launch it? I mean, brilliantly, we launched it in July in the middle of a pandemic. You know, it wasn't designed that way, but it just so happens. And you know, we could have halted the you know, the development on that when the pandemic started and said, okay, we've got other priorities and things to do. But we said, no, we need to carry on with this. We need to do it now more than ever. Actually, we should be rewarding and people for shopping with us. And you know, we were seeing a huge amount of that customer acquisition during that period, so it was absolutely the right time to do it. If not particularly planned that way. So, but,
yeah, I think a lot of brands in particular now are considering more than ever the importance of retention, the importance of creating your brand as more of a destination and creating connections outside of the purchase cycle with customers, like enabling them to want to engage in different ways and follow you on social media so you stay top of mind. So it's really great to see how you've incorporated all of those different elements with videos and photos that they can be uploading that is beneficial to you as a brand.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't take it for granted just because people like your products that they're just going to keep coming back and shopping with you. You've got to keep innovating on what that relationship looks like, I think, and this has really helped us to do that. So yeah, as I was mentioning earlier, just going on to this slide. So one of the things that obviously we launched, and we've seen some great results, which we're going to share shortly. But you can see really clearly that the outlining of the Rev Rewards program is very clearly signposted through customer journey. So this is one of the emails that we just sent last week, and what's really lovely about it is the fact that it has that prompt at the end there to say, and this is me, I'm about to reach the next tier, so I've done well this year, but I've got enough points to reach the next tier, and that's exciting. So we've been very points to reach the next tier, and that's exciting. So we've been very clear about mapping out how that customer journey and making sure that they can see the benefits at every touch point as well. So yeah, so little reminders there are good, and we've done a lot of social promotion around it as well.
It comes hand in hand with a content strategy. So the implementation, it absolutely comes hand in hand with the content strategy, joining up those touch points, the communications across the board, and ensuring that it is all joined up is so important.
Yeah, I think so frequently brands make the mistake of not understanding that rewards should be really a large part of your marketing strategy and should fully support your and integrate into your content strategy. And I think you guys have done a wonderful job throughout the site of incorporating banners and reminders that are promoting like opting into loyalty if they don't know about the program yet, or those subtle reminders and these personalized communications about upgrading and unlocking the next level. And you also even mentioned, I think, a few days ago that there's a insert that you put into each package. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, I think I might have one just here, just to demonstrate. So these are our dispatch notes that go into our parcels. And yeah, so you can see here that, again, it's been a really great place for us to provide little reminders for our customers as well, so once they receive their parcels. So yeah, so it's all about that 360 approach, really. So we should show some results, eh? Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
So yeah, let's talk about how it's.
So I think that and obviously I was just looking back on the modelling actually just before this, because I thought, well, I better just check what actually we thought might happen versus what actually happened. And interestingly, and you can see here that we'd modelled that we would get about a 12% increase on AOV. We've got plus 44. And frequency would go up by 200%, and it's gone up by nearly 400%. So basically, the performance of it was better than we'd modelled. So that's always a good thing. I think I was pretty astonished by the. Look at the lifetime revenue for the best customers within this, within the program, £174. I mean, that's huge, and they're shopping just under 4 times a year. So that's really big compared to our average at 1.4. So So, you know, really good results coming there. And, you know, so we are absolutely doing, it does do what it was designed to do, which was to increase the frequency, but by more than we expected, but also that, you know, that long tail of value from the customers as well. So yeah, so it's been really good. I think some other learnings though that I would say is that, you know, now that we've identified that those customers are more valuable, you know, we have to keep working on the visibility and the promotion of sign up. So the program works where obviously, you know, effectively anyone can be in the program, but you're only really registered as someone in the program once you redeem some points. So so obviously it's encouraging people, and, you know, Dispatch Note and the email are examples of this, is that, you know, you need to make sure you've got really high visibility through the communications around the benefits, reminding people to re-engage. We're taking some time to refine the tier benefits as well. You know, at the moment we're offering a free gift when you reach a different tier, free delivery events, and, you know, we're looking at other things like early access to our license programs and the exciting stuff that everyone queues up for. So last week we launched our latest Friends collaboration, and we gave early access to our silver and gold customers, so they could have a whole day of shopping before everybody else. So that's the kind of refinements that we're looking at, is that, you know, there's sort of softer benefits that you can give to the people that are most loyal to you. We also, you know, spent some time, you know, working on the refer a friend. It probably wasn't giving us the results maybe that we wanted, so we've given that a lot more visibility through lots of our channels, and we've managed to triple the performance there and the participation, so that's been really good. So I think it's just, you know, it goes back to everything that Geeta says, is you can't just, you know, put a product into your site and just, you know, leave it there, or not have it designed, or not think about the customer journey. You've got to be constantly optimizing what that experience looks like for customers. But, you know, on surface value of this is that it really has driven a phenomenal result for us, and you know, we'll continue to build on that and increase the participation within the program.
Yeah, these are incredible results, and it's amazing to see, in particular, like you started with very few repeat purchases, and then ultimately what this ended in with almost customers making 4 purchases in a year is really incredible. So as I think we might have lost Geeta, but we'll start to close out to see if you have any final thoughts, any advice for other brands that are looking to implement a loyalty program, anything that you have learned from your experience that was, I guess, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, start with talking to your customers and looking at your data. That should guide you in everything. You know, if you're designing anything, it's starting with that, and then, you know, figure out what's the behavior that you want to, you know, reward, drive, or change. You know, those are the things to really the general principles. Spend time figuring that out. It's obviously incredibly important to find the right partners, whether that's the product itself or the you know, the partner for integration. You know, it's incredibly important that that those companies understand you and what you're trying to achieve, so they make the right recommendations for you. You know, we've had an amazing relationship with Astound right from day one, and they get us, they understand us, so, you know, it always works really really well. So, you know, the partnerships, the external partnerships are incredibly important. And then the other side of it is just to keep going back over it. You've got to do the due diligence on your numbers. loyalty comes at a price in your P&L, and I can't emphasize that enough. You know, points have a value. So you need to somehow understand how that's going to affect your P&L. So you need to do the financial modeling, and, you know, if you make sure, you know, your proposition is right, then I believe the results can be there, and then you're only going to be driving the right value for that. But, you know, it's not something to go into very quickly or overnight or without due thought about how the customer's going to see it, how they're going to engage with it, you know, and how you're going to just weave that through in the customer journey. It's incredibly important. So but the rewards are there. So yeah, so we're really happy. And I'm sorry we lost Geeta, because, you know, obviously, you know, the partnership's been amazing with us down and indeed with Yotpo. So yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Anything that you would say about like particular data points, or whether or not it was, did you just consult your CFO when doing this financial modeling? I think it'd be really beneficial for brands to understand like what approach you took and how they can go about this financial modeling.
Because I think, you know, in businesses like ours, we have a collective approach to decision making. So I kept my peer group updated around the plans, the thoughts that we had around the loyalty program in the first place, the design. I also, investors, took them all through it so they could see what we were thinking and what we wanted to execute. And it was only when everybody was happy with that that we went forward with it. It's really important with something that touches your customer, that runs as a thread through your business, is that all the stakeholders or the people that run the business are actually, you know, have signed up for and really supportive of. So I mean, they all loved it, so that was relatively simple. But yeah, it's really important. It's not just, you know, a loyalty scheme is not just a financial piece, it's a customer experience piece, and therefore, you know, it runs through pretty much every function in your business. And so it's really important that everybody's on the same page, supportive, and has thought about it from their point of view on what impact there might be. So yeah, so from that point of view, I think it's very important to, you know, consult a number of people around your businesses as well as your customers about what that could look like.
Yeah, I think that's a great piece of advice, is simply just understand who the stakeholders are internally and ensure that you align with them throughout the process, that they're feeling a part of the whole planning from beginning to end, and not just building the program by yourself and then presenting fully to stakeholders,
Yeah,
but that it's
and actually
throughout the journey.
And to that exact point is, make sure your customer service team have had a look and have been through the journeys and understand fully what will happen to customers and the points of where, and have tested it to see where there might be some pain points or things that customers will query. And, you know, for me, that was my last sign off, actually, was the customer service team, because if you know, your people on the ground are not able to help customers, then you're in a bit of trouble, aren't you? So
Yeah, I would say probably the customer service team is the most daily interaction with it, because of users reaching out.
So when they were happy, we were happy. That was basically so. Great.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us and sharing some of this great insight about how you built the business case for loyalty internally, and obviously have seen amazing results. So really thrilled with the partnership, and thanks so much.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for having us. And thank you, Geeta.